Story time on how I'm no longer best friends with my best friend as I clean my room, taking it from that to this. So last year I booked a 30th birthday trip to Greece and to Paris. So it was a 7-day trip. It was 2 days in Santorini, 2 days in Mykonos, a day in Santorini, and then a 24-hour layover in Paris. So this was a trip of a lifetime. Everybody was so excited. It was just going to be a good time. I invite my cousin. I invite my ex-best friend, let's name her as B, and she invited her friend C, so it was going to be 4 girls. The day of the trip comes, and my best friend tells me that her package did not come in time. So I say, hey, I have a little bit of time. I can go to Rainbow, and I can pick out some outfits with you on FaceTime. We pick out the outfits, very cute, and I end up getting all my things together, and I met at the airport. I was expecting to be at the ticket counter, but I had to go all the way to TSA with my things along with this big old bag of Rainbow items, which was annoying. But I get to the gate, I give her this bag, and I realize that she ended up using this bag as her carry-on. And so by the time that we got to Santorini, mind you, because we had to fly into Athens and then we had to go to Santorini. By the time we get to Santorini, this bag is beat up, y'all. Beat up. Like it has holes in it. It just really wasn't a good bag anymore. It's a plastic bag. So we have a great time in Santorini. Like we enjoy the views. The vibes were lit. It was top tier, 10 out of 10 experience. So the day comes for us to get on the ferry to go to Mykonos. Everybody packs their bags and then we head to the port to get on the ferry. We drop B and C off, and then me and my cousin, we ended up taking the rental car back to the airport and Ubering back to the port. When we get back to the port, B is like, we're like, hey, this is how much the Uber was. We split it 4 ways. And B was like, that was y'all's decision to take an Uber. And we were like, how the heck were we supposed to get the rental car back? Like, that was just weird. Weird thing number one. Me and my cousin looked at each other like, what the hell? So, but everybody ended up sending the money. So then we get to Mykonos and then we land. It's just been a long travel day. We ended up getting to the Airbnb maybe around 3:30. And everybody's chilling for a little bit. And then around 5 o'clock, I get really hungry. And so I'm like, I'm finna get some food. It might have been a little bit earlier than that, y'all. But I was like, I want to get some food. I'm hungry. So I get up, I get dressed. And I'm like, if everybody can be ready in 15 minutes, then y'all can go with me. But if not, I'm finna go get food. So me, my cousin, and C, we end up going to get lunch or dinner, whatever. It was really like a late lunch, but it wasn't our dinner that day. And C goes and says, hey, very casually, hey, can you contact the Airbnb host from Santorini and ask them if they found a passport? Because B can't find her passport. It was said so casually that I didn't think much of it. I was like, ooh, we got to find that. But I was like, this food is good. So I contacted him immediately, though. But mind you, it's like 5 o'clock now. Like, we left that Airbnb at 8 a.m. So I contact them, waiting for a response. And then we get back from lunch to the Airbnb. And just for context, B and C don't know my cousin from a can of paint. My cousin is like 36, 37. I love her to death, but that's my cousin. So they don't really know her, but they've been spending time, obviously, all as a group with each other. And so my cousin, she's like being like, obviously, she's more mature. So she's like asking questions and this and that. But I can tell my ex-best friend B has been actively ignoring me. So I'm not like too much engaging, but as I'm getting ready for dinner, I ask out loud, I'm like, hey, have you checked all your small compartments? Very sincere. And B responds, duh, lyric. Very uncalled for, rude. And see me, I don't have energy. I don't have time for that. So I continue getting ready because now at this point, I don't give a damn. And I go with my cousin and we go to dinner, like on the boardwalk. It was beautiful. So we get back that night and I go into the room and I see B is on the phone. Mind you, B has low-key been on the phone since earlier, but with people that really can't help her. I get it might have been like a coping mechanism, but we need to devise a plan. I feel like all hands should be on deck. This is a serious situation. But again, she wasn't communicating with me at all. So I go into the room. I'm like, hey, can you explain to me what's going on? I see she's on the phone, but like honestly at that point I didn't care. And C ends up explaining to me what's going on. I'm like, look, I don't need you to explain to me. I need her to explain it to me. And she looks at me and she was like, you see, I'm on the phone. And to me, I was like, I feel like this phone call can wait. That's what I said. I think this phone call can wait. I think this situation is more important. And she looked at me and she said, every time I'm going through something, you decide to give me a hard time. Y'all, quite literally, I have only ever came through for this person. I hold them accountable and I might say, hey, like that could have been avoided, like that, but I always come through. Like I come through for the people I love. Like ask about me. If anybody that knows me and like I've been cool with you, I've been friends with you, like I'm literally a ride or die. So that threw me for a loop. At that point, it was out of my hands. I didn't care. I didn't care about nothing that was going on. So then my cousin ended up being very helpful, but my ex-best friend B was very nice to see, and my cousin. Mind you, she don't know my cousin from a can of paint. You being nicer to a stranger than you are to your best friend. So they ended up, long story short, she ended up having to go to the embassy the next day, and it was a Friday. She had to take a 5-hour ferry to the embassy, and her C ended up going with her. And so they ended up getting it situated, but she had to get a temporary passport, so she couldn't go to Paris. Me and my cousin, we just decided to end up enjoying the rest of our trip. Like, that's nothing we can do about that. So we enjoy the rest of our trip. We go to Paris. It was beautiful. We got to see the Eiffel Tower, and it just so happened that Paris fell on my actual birthday. So it was perfect. My mom gave me the advice, enjoy your trip. You have worked so hard for this. Like, don't let anybody steal your joy. And that's exactly what I did. But y'all, here's the kicker. Me and B, we worked at the same restaurant. So I ended up getting back home and then going to work, and there was stories going around that B had been telling people that someone stole her passport in Greece. Like, she didn't even admit that she lost it. Like, that to me was insane. Like, I just pled the fifth when people was talking to me about it, asking me about it, like, oh, I don't know nothing about that. So that is the reason why me and her are no longer friends. I tried to ask her about it later down the line, and she told me there's nothing to talk about. But here's my clean room, and that's a story time on how I'm no longer best friends with my best friend. Okay, so I'm going to address some topics about the story time. I just got off work, and I'm going to start with this one. So me, cousin, and C ended up going to get lunch because the friend was asleep. B was asleep. So me, C, and my cousin ended up going to get food. Like I said, I was hungry. So we went to go get food. And I feel like once we got to Mykonos and to the Airbnb, mind y'all, I didn't find out that B had lost her passport until we were actively in the middle of eating lunch. And it was brought up very casually. Like, I don't know why people missed that part. But I felt like from the point we got back from lunch, she was like on the phone, but with people that were not providing any solutions. Because mind you, a police report hadn't even been made. Like this, like it, I don't feel like the schedule to like, or itinerary on how we're going to get to the embassy had been scheduled. Like no progress had really been made yet. So it's like you're on the phone with these people and like you're hopping back and forth from different phone calls. And like I said, I admit it, I can understand it's probably a coping mechanism. But in my opinion, if I lose my passport, the moment that it's lost, I do feel like I'm going to inform the people that I'm with. So it can be clear communication. We can all look for it. And there can be contact to the like Airbnb hosts or the transportation that we've been in. Like it can just be an all out front. But she only communicated it to C, and C ended up telling us casually at lunch. So he was like just weird. And okay, so then let me see. So we didn't drop the rental car off together because If you think about Greece, the cars are really small. It's 4 girls, it's a 7 day trip. So it's 4 girls, it's a 7 day trip. We all had 2 suitcases. We had one big suitcase, and like me, my cousin, and C had carry-on. So it was like almost 8 suitcases. We can't fit that into the car, and all of us drive back to the airport with the suitcases and then go to the port in an Uber. Even the Ubers or the taxis were small. So like 4 of us wouldn't have really fit, and it would have been expensive to get a private car to go from the airport to the port, when it just made more sense taking me and my cousin, taking them to the port, us driving the car to the airport, and then Ubering to the port. Mind you, that wasn't the most convenient option for me and my cousin, but we did it out of convenience. Like, we tried to be convenient to B and C. Like, we're going to drop you guys off and then we're going to run this errand. It's an errand. It's not fun. That's a lot of traveling. Like, so I feel like a lot of people in the comments are saying, why wasn't it all out front to look for the passport? You should stop doing what you should stop everything and look for the passport. You guys, she was carrying the passport in a beat up rainbow bag. When it was finally like discussed, it was asked to ask the Airbnb host while we were in Mykonos, to ask the Santorini Airbnb host to also check the trash because it could possibly be in there. We got to Mykonos at 3 or 4 p.m. We left Santorini at 8 a.m. We were in an Airbnb. Airbnbs usually have you check out and they're cleaned immediately for the next reservation. What's not clicking? I feel like some of y'all are really in the comments like, it's not clicking. Where can we possibly look? There's only but so much we can look. There's only but so much we can look. We're in a whole nother island, thousands, not thousands, but I don't know, maybe hundreds of miles away. It was a 2-hour ferry ride to the next island. It's either in your bag or it's not. We had just gotten to the Airbnb. We hadn't even been in the new Airbnb 3 hours. It's no way it's in the Airbnb we're at now. We ended up contacting the transport driver that picked us up from the airport to the Airbnb, asked him to check his car. And then obviously I reached out to the Airbnb host from Santorini. But again, they cleaned, he said they didn't find anything. But my thing is that y'all would rather, and I'm not sitting here saying I'm right or wrong because I'm human. But the fact is, y'all are saying that my reaction is inappropriate. But how is it not inappropriate to not put your passport in a safe and secure location, and then when it's lost, expect everybody to drop everything? Mind you, I spent over $4,000 for this trip. I worked 16-hour shifts on a consistent basis to be able to afford this trip. It's my 30th birthday. I'm supposed to drop everything, say F the money that I have spent, my hard-earned money, because somebody irresponsibly carried their passport in an unsecure bag. I did everything I could. I contacted the Airbnb host and I tried to offer a suggestion. Hey, have you checked your small compartments? Because a passport is thin. It's thin. We all know what a passport look like. So have you checked your small compartment? To me, in my mind, that is what made sense. Hey, have you checked the small areas? Because what else can I sincerely offer and do? We haven't been at this new Airbnb that long. We just took a boat ride. If y'all ever been on the ferry, there was thousands of people on there. You think we can contact the ferry and just be like, hey, can y'all look for a passport? Thousands of people. I'm going to show you guys the video of what it looked like us getting off the ferry. Ain't no calling them, asking them to look for a passport. Mind you, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like you have to show them your passport. No, all you had to do was show them your ticket to even get on the ferry. So we didn't have to show them a passport because we were going from one Greek island to another. So I'm like, I feel like the people in the comments like, oh, you were so casual about your friend losing her passport. She's casual about it. She was casual about it. C was casual about it. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to freak out and be like, oh my gosh, let me drop everything and let me look through this. She only has but so much stuff. There's only but so much you can tear up a bag, a suitcase. If it's not there, it's not there. At that point, the only solution is going to the embassy. The only solution is going to the embassy. That's it. So when I met with attitude, I met with attitude. Then I go to dinner with my cousin. I come back and I'm like, I really wanted her to tell me what was going on, because to me it was wild the fact that like she never even had a direct conversation to say what was going on. And I feel like that's just not okay. Like, because that puts a damper on everybody's trip. Like, it does. It really does. And if you're only thinking about it from the perspective of like how it affected her, this was a self-inflicted situation. It's now, let's say she had it in her purse and somebody came and snatched her purse out of her hand. Absolutely. We are getting to the bottom of this. Like, oh no. Like, but this is not, it's not like the passport was being held in a safe, secure location, you guys. It was being held in a plastic bag with holes in it. What am I supposed to do? That's all. That's all, guys. That's all. I'm going to continue to enjoy my trip. I'm going to continue to enjoy the trip that I worked hard to go on. Period.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional. Yes, we stay in lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Man, okay, so that was her best friend. And they had another friend there and her cousin. I don't know what girls be on, but then her friend said that she doesn't like her when she's going through something, that what did she say? She doesn't show discernment or something. Like it feels like she's on to her. I don't think, I think that may be a case, because if you're with a less mature person, like a person that would lose their passport, and you are the more sensible person to talk to somebody and be like, listen, you can't be doing. I've done this to people I've been on trips with that I know be doing stuff, and I have to tell them, like, look, like, it's somebody that gotta go. There's somebody that's always late, and I'm like, look, man, I don't like being late, and I don't like that you make me late to other places because of whatever it is. I don't like to be late. So you either need to pick it up or get another ride. Like, don't make me late. And I really hate when you have to tell somebody that. And that's what I think it is. It's like somebody who's always doing irresponsible stuff. So if she's always doing irresponsible stuff and then you have to bring her along, and now she, like a child, she complains instead of take accountability. I think that's really wild. That's really wild for her to do. So I just, sometimes friendships do run their course. And then
Every day